Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. When Mt.Salem Football Club broke up in 1976, created a vacancy that needed to be filled quickly to absorb the vast array of talent that was coming out of that community. The door was kicked wide open for the formation of Wadada Football Club. An opportunity that was seized upon by the quartet of Delroy Builder James, O'Brien Hobbs Mackenzie, Mark Skipper Ledford, and Alan Creature Aarons. At the time, Gene Gray, who later became Mr. Wadada, was nowhere around as he was heavily involved in the entertainment industry, operating Studio 54 Club at the entrance of the Montego Bay-based strip. Wadada, which at the time featured a mixture of Rastafarians and non-Rastafarians, began attracting a lot of attention as they played a style that was similar to the Brazilians. After winning the St.James Division II competition in 1978, the Wadada fans were anxious to see how they would measure up against the big boys of St. James football in the 1979 season in Division 1. However, that was not to be, as the team split, with the Rastafarians going one way and the non-Rastafarians going the other. Although they took the name with them, the Rastafarians decided against playing in the Division 1 competition that year, and instead opted to play only exhibition games. After a year in the wilderness, the two factions united and Wadada became a united team once again. It was at that stage that Jean Grey walked in and took charge of the team for the 1980 season. Grey, who was awash with cash, decided that he wanted to build the best team in Jamaica. So he went on a massive recruitment drive, bringing in some of the best players in Jamaica, including several national stars. Under Grey's management, Wadada became the first team in Jamaica where players were earning attractive salaries, living in hotels, and driving expensive rental cars. Drawn in by the galaxy of stars, Wadada quickly developed one of the largest fan base in local football. While Wadada was renowned for its attractive brand of football and won several titles in St. James, they failed to win a national title with the galaxy of stars. In fact, the two titles they won were won predominantly with Western Jamaica-based players, albeit Grey was still there splashing out the cash. In this edition of Lest You Forget, I will be revisiting the genesis of Wadada from a story I wrote for the Western Mirror, which was published in March 1988 under the title Wadada, the Toast of National Football. The thunderous blasts of firecrackers and the hoarse but elated voices of thousands of Wadada supporters at the National Stadium in Kingston last night heralding a new era in the annals of national football. After 90 exhilarating minutes of football, Wadada, the Arch Shield, President's Cup, Mee Johnson Knockout and Appleton Knockout champions of St. James stood supreme as the undisputed king of national football. In beating Reno FC 1-0 in the return leg of the Craveney-sponsored National Premier League final, they captured a two-way tie 2-0 on aggregate. Wadada now joins former champion Seba United as the only two rural teams to have won the nation's most prestigious football title. Wadada's win, which came after many years of promising much but failing to deliver, must be attributed to the hard work and dedication that have characterized their performance this season. Today, in a bid to enlighten fans on the background of the newly crowned national champions, I will take an in-depth look at the background of Wadada from their inception in the Mt.Salem community in 1977 to their moment of glory at the National Stadium last night. Wadada Football Club was founded in Mt.Salem in 1977 by the quartet of present coach and former national captain Mark Ledford, former national midfielder Alan Creature Aarons, football enthusiast O'Brien Hobbs Mackenzie, and the team's first coach Delroy Builder James. Wadadah was born out of the dream of these four pioneers to keep Mt.Salem football alive, following the demise of the Mt.Salem United team at the end of the 1976 St.James season. With James as the coach, Wadadah embarked on their first season of competitive football, contesting the 1977 St. James Division II competition. With Wadadah playing an attractive brand of Brazilian-style one-touch football, they quickly attracted a large fan base. In 1978, they finished second in the St. James Division II competition, which was enough to earn them qualification into the 1979 Division I competition. However, a crisis developed in the team which prevented them from contesting the following season. The problem started when the Dreadlocks members of the team, which formed the vast majority, ousted the non-Dreadlocks in a bid to produce an all-Dread aggregation. With the Ballheads discarded, Wadadah withdrew from the parish competition and only displayed their talents on rare occasions in so-called international games. After one season of all-Dread football, the breach between the Dreads and the Ballheads was repaired for the 1980 season. With the dynamic and father-like Gene Gray as manager, Wadadah re-entered the St. James domestic competition at the Division II level. They won the competition relatively easily and were again promoted to Division I. Back in Division I, they gradually began their climb to the top echelon of national football. In the 1982-83 season, they won the Arch Shield for the first time and qualified for the National Premier League. Wadadah regained the Arch Shield in the 1984-85 season and took the President's Cup as well. They maintained their dominance of St. James football by again winning the Arch Shield and President's Cup, as well as the Appleton Knockout Trophy. The 1986 season saw Wadadah achieving a major milestone in St. James football, winning the Arch Shield, the President's Cup, Appleton Knockout Trophy and the Meade Johnson Knockout Trophy, the first team ever to win all four major titles in a single season. Before this season, Wadadah's exploits in the Premier League have been relatively modest, despite the presence of a number of imported national players over the years. This season, whether by design or as fate would have it, Wadadah invested primarily in homegrown talents, and it paid off. With Kenneth Gaynor at the helm, Wadadah showed the type of resilience that was lacking in former years. They actually went 7 consecutive games undefeated as they marched into the semi-finals. At this stage, they ousted former champion Seba United to reach the finals. With the finals now history, tribute is in order for skipper Kenneth Gaynor, Winston Anglin, Paul Burkett, Bentley Brown, Durant Brown, Neville Brown, Delroy Brown, Peter Samuels, Anthony Follis Williams, Henry Brown, Carlton Alexander, Michael Harriott, James Edwards, Dave Brooks, and the members of the coaching staff. However, the biggest praise must go to the team's manager, Gene Gray, who never lost faith in the team over the years and waited patiently until they finally delivered a national title. Credit should also go to the Wadadah fans who stuck with the team through thick and thin, traveling all over the island with their unwavering support. While I am told that Gene Gray was an avid cricketer in his youthful days in Westmoreland, bowling a mean pace, based on what I saw of him at Wadadah, his real passion was football. In fact, he must be credited with revolutionizing St. James football and making it the fabulous product it was in the 80s and 90s. And for that, I must salute him as one of the iconic figures of football in Western Jamaica. Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. Before you go, please remember to subscribe